Welcome to Elevated Sports. I'm Kyle Johnson.
And I'm disappointed.
How disappointed? I'm Kyle.
My name is Billy Mock, and I'm very disappointed. Because today we have to come to you to talk about the virus of all viruses.
It has ruined many lives.
Coronavirus.
AKA COVID-19.
COVID-19, whatever you want to call it. Basically the thing that has rocked our world.
Let's start prior to where we want to start.
Yeah.
So there was, the virus is spreading. So a bunch of these professional sports leagues were planning to just play their games without fans, without fans in attendance. Okay, all right, that'll help stop the spread of the virus, correct?
Yeah.
Wrong.
Zonk.
Zoinks. Okay, but this is a serious matter.
we gotta laugh a little bit.
We do. I mean, to get through this moment.
Yeah.
Billy, what happened? What was it? Wednesday night? I think it was
Wednesday night. Well, what was funny is last week we briefly talked about the coronavirus.
We did, and it was very lighthearted, and that was me.
It was very lighthearted. You asked me about it in rapid fire.
Yeah.
And a week ago today, we literally were talking about the potential of having NBA arenas with no fans. A week later, we are looking at the suspension of multiple leagues. Just how much has changed in the last week. Started Wednesday night. I was driving home, and I got a text from you saying, "No, Rudy." And I was like, what the heck could that mean? I literally pulled up, because, obviously things are kind of getting crazy. I literally pulled over my car and pulled up Twitter and typed in Rudy on trending. I'm like, oh no, Rudy Gobert has the coronavirus, right? And I didn't realize he had done the whole spiel with the touching stuff and everything.
See, I didn't realize that until after I saw that he had received it.
I saw he received it, and I was like, oh no, that sucks. And then our friend Camilo, friend of the show, NBA expert, he called me up and he's like, have you seen this thing about Rudy? I'm like, yeah, I'm just now seeing it. And he's like, you saw the other day when he was like touching everything on the podium and everything? I'm like, no, and I finally saw it. Crazy, just crazy. Obviously, Gobert, dingus, absolute dingus.
Oh, gosh.
But I mean, he's a dude. He's a dude.
But here's the thing: Rudy Gobert treated just like 50%, if not more, of Americans.
Exactly. Like I'm not necessarily going to shame him, because I'm not saying I would have done different in that situation.
Right.
I hope I would have done different, but just me and my.
Nobody was taking it serious at that point.
Exactly. My problem is with the Utah Jazz staff, okay? Because this is what happened. Gobert started showing symptoms of having some kind of sickness, right? And they tested him and everything. They did not test him for corona. They tested him for influenza, okay? I listened to this statement that was released a couple days ago. He was tested for influenza. Apparently they said he had that, right? But they continued to let him travel, which was the crazy thing. Like, man, even if it isn't corona, why would you let him travel
with the flu?
With the flu and with all of this going on, right? So then he travels, and then I guess things got worse, and they tested him again. And he was planning to play that night in OKC, the night that the league got suspended. He was planning to play, right? But because his symptoms were getting bad, they're like, no, you can't play. They didn't let him go to the arena. They, I don't know if he went to a hospital or was in a hotel or whatever. Then he got tested for corona, and it was found out that he got corona. In a time like this, I think it was just completely irresponsible of the Utah Jazz staff to even let him travel anywhere.
Right.
And also not test him for corona.
Right. And
then literally, I think it had to be within 20 minutes of finding out Rudy Gobert got the virus to having the league suspended.
It moved very, very quickly.
And then a day later, Donovan Mitchell. Wild stuff. So the NBA went down first. NBA, dunzo. Next, NHL. I think the NHL and MLB took about a day or two.
They were pretty close.
The thing about the NHL is you're thinking about half the arenas that the NHL use are shared with NBA teams, right? So Utah, they played in Boston, and they played in Detroit. And guess who followed them? The Tampa Bay Lightning. They played in Boston, and then they played in Detroit. Shared the same locker room as them because they were the visiting teams, right? So you got to think now this could be anywhere. This could be with any sports franchise. It could be with any player within any sports franchise. So you got to shut it down.
Yeah.
As much as it hurts, I even thought to myself that night before the whole Gobert thing started. I was like, because, I turn on sports radio, whatever. That's the only thing you hear about is the coronavirus. I'm like, I'm done. I'm tired of hearing about it. I know it's a problem, but I just want it to be done for.
Right.
And I guess the only way for it to be done for is if we make this sacrifice.
Sacrifices must be made, unfortunately. This sucks. I mean, it really does suck.
It really does suck. I mean, every day I'm thinking about what sporting event is going on that night, especially in a time like this. NBA playoffs, Lightning playoff push, MLB spring training, the XFL, right?
We got nothing. Even the XFL is canceled.
That's what I was like, maybe the XFL will be the lone survivor. But no, dunzo.
They would have had so many views if they would have canceled.
It would.
27 million views per game.
I think today is in my book, it's the second official day with no sports because you had
spring training games on Thursday.
Yeah, you did have spring training games there. So today's the second official day with 0 sports. I don't know. I just don't know what to do with myself.
So yeah, I think yes, it was irresponsible of the Utah Jazz training staff.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to that because I don't even know where else to go from there. I mean, our lives are ruined. But it was also irresponsible of Rudy Gobert. Apparently, from reports, he was just going around touching people and touching all their belongings.
Yeah. And actually, there was, I may have to fact check it because I actually did not check to see if the account was verified. But I did see something about a lot of Jazz players being very frustrated with
I saw those rumors as well. I'm not 100% certain those are fact, but I would believe that.
Yeah.
I really do believe that there's a bunch of players mad with Rudy Gobert right now.
Gobert, he did come out with an apology.
Did you see that he signed an autograph for a kid in Boston, and the kid now has it?
Really? Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. This thing spreads fast, and at first, I thought people were just selling out to the coronavirus thing, just freaking out. Obviously, it's not like people have, died from it.
Right.
But it's not like a deadly,
No, and
crazy disease.
I think that's one thing that's causing so much panic is the media is labeling it as a deadly disease.
Yes. But also the thing is it seems to spread pretty fast, right?
Right. So the spread is very fast.
Yeah.
It is spreading very fast. I wouldn't say it's deadly because what do you consider deadly? Do you consider the flu deadly? Nobody really considers the flu deadly.
Yeah.
You can die. I guess driving's deadly. Everything is deadly at that point. So where do you draw the line? What is really deadly?
Exactly.
So I do still think there's a lot of hype, a lot of panic about it when there doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
The media is using a whole bunch of trigger words. Pandemic, emergency, deadly. All these words incite fear in people. You hear these words, you're like, well, what's that mean? Are we all going to die? No, you're not all going to die. 93% of the people who contract the coronavirus live. You're more than likely not going to die. The news keeps telling you that you're going to die.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a lot of the hype around it, but that doesn't mean don't use common sense. You still wash your hands. You should have been washing your hands this entire time. If you haven't been washing your hands, you deserve the elbow to the forehead.
What's the rule? You sing your ABCs twice in your head or something like that?
Well, I just sing it once. So
okay.
A, B, C, all the way through, sing the alphabet song. Next time, won't you sing with me? I'm tired. Wash your hands. So I found out that the best way to do this, I don't know why I've never done this before. Maybe it's been less effective. Soak your hands first, and then you put the soap on. I'd always gone straight for the soap.
I do too.
We are turning into doctors here on Elevated Sports.
That's fine. That's fine.
If you rinse your hands and then put the soap on and lather, the soap will stay there. Whereas if you just put the soap on and it kind of looks like it's disappearing, but it kind of lathers up if you rinse your hands first. Fun fact. I only figured that out because my mom's like, where's the soap on your hands? I'm like, it's on there, I promise. She goes, it's supposed to lather. I'm like, what? So there you go. You rinse your hands and then you put the soap on.
Whenever you open up an Elevated Sports video, you never know what you're going to get. Today, health tips with Kyle and Billy.
If you're going to cough, please don't. If you're gonna sneeze, please don't. But if you do,
yes, sir. There was a video of Curry the other day.
Among the team when you got the news and kind of take us through that process a little bit.
He canceled the cough.
He canceled that cough real quick. He's like, nope. Nope.
Oh man.
Do not spray fluids everywhere when you cough or sneeze. Contain them. You're a grown butt man. If you have to, or a grown butt woman, if you have to, wear a vampire cape and just like vampire, just like bring the cape in front of your mouth. Do not spray your ooey gooey diseases everywhere.
Let me ask you this question.
Sure.
Away from the health tips.
Okay.
What, in your opinion, what do you think would be what would you think would be the smart steps here on out for the sports world when it comes to getting back to sports?
Common sense? Is that too good of an answer? How many of these things could have been avoided?
Yeah, could have been avoided.
I mean, with the fans, that's what it boils down to. It's common sense. If you don't feel good, stay home. That's it. Don't go around other people. It's ridiculous that you have to tell people, oh, if you feel like you have the coronavirus, don't go out in the public. No, if you feel like you have the flu, if you feel like you have the cold, they're all contagious. You don't want to spread them to other people. Don't go out in public. You have to be able to think, not just about yourselves. It's not like people are thinking, I already bought tickets to this game. I can't miss this game. I'm feeling all right. It's not, the world's not just about you. It's about you. You got to think about your neighbors, your fellow humans. You don't want to infect them.
No.
As much fun as it would be to go to that game, you got to think about other people.
Yeah.
So I think when it just comes down to common sense, you don't want to infect anyone else. Just take one for the team.
Take one for the team. I think it's likely that we don't see any sports for the month of March.
No, I doubt any sport comes back this month. I would probably say it's at least halfway through April before we even start to see another sport. I don't think they should start until we start getting maybe a little bit more clarity with this.
Yeah.
Once again, I think we're overreacting to how deadly it is? Yes, but it is contagious.
Yeah.
It will spread. So we do need to have this time where you don't get into big groups. You don't spread it rapidly, because that's what's going to make it even worse.
Yeah.
So as much as I hate the decision to cancel all the sports leagues, I think it was the right decision. Just like
it was the right decision.
My trip to England and France was canceled.
But because it was canceled,
I'm here.
You're here, and not Jamie. Jamie could have been here though. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be an interesting few weeks, months, years without sports. What if sports never come back?
Let's not get crazy.
Yeah.
I don't even want to think about that. That's terrible. We'll have to have underground sports leagues.
Here's the thing.
One sport we do have is WWE.
WWE. Rob Gronkowski.
Robert.
Here's the thing. The coronavirus may run rampant forever, but here is the reality and the hope that you have as viewers. Elevated sports will never be stopped. It will never be stopped. We will bust out the content for you day in and day out. We get the coronavirus, we will be quarantined filming elevated sports.
Worst case scenario, we're just giving you esports.
Maybe.
It may boil down to that at some point.
Hey, maybe that becomes best case scenario. Maybe they don't want to hear us talk about sports anymore and just want us to watch, or just want to watch us play.
We just got to be entertaining. Look at Ninja. Tifu.
We could play esports while we talk about sports. It could be like a podcast while we are playing sports games or any game. Elevated sports will not be stopped.
No.
We are here for the fans. We are the fans.
We are the fans. We are the remaining few.
We are the remaining few. Here's the thing. There is no sports, and you are suggested that you stay out of crowds that are like 1,000 people or more, but you should still go to church tomorrow. You should do that.
Yeah, find some real hope.
Find some real hope. Don't shake your pastor's hand. Give him the
Elbow
elbow.
Boop. Proper execution.
Yes. Or else you may get deer punched.
They're approaching you and you realize it's going to bite you. You simply come up to it, up in the air, then drop down. Are you ready? Boom!
Anyway, all this coronavirus blabber, I'm done with it. So, with that being said, like this video, comment on this video, subscribe to the channel. Check out the description to find our social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I guess you can also find our podcast there.
We have a podcast.
Look in the description when this video is released and you'll find out if we have a podcast. Anyway, with that being said,
stay healthy,
stay smart,
stay classy,
stay woke, or else.